This video has 246 million views for a reason. The edit is next level. It had 15 editors working on it over a couple of days, and we're going to look into the 3 game-changing editing techniques that they use to create what's probably the greatest video in internet history. But before we get started, I'm Joe. I'm a YouTube and social media editor, and I like to think I've edited some decent videos in the past. Last week we looked at Will and E's video and his intro, how it hooked the viewer straight away, was short, concise, but still gave questions in order to make you watch on. And MrBeast's intro is quite similar to that. Just watch the first 10 seconds, listen to what he says, and what shots are shown on screen.
I recreated every single set from Squid Game in real life, and whichever one of these 456 people survives the longest wins 456 grand.
He intentionally says points that will blow your mind and interest you and create intrigue to carry on watching. He also backs it up with really clear shots showing all the sets, the contestants, and a graphic of the prize. We instantly know from this intro that we haven't been clickbaited. These aren't just fake words.
You are fake news.
We can see it's happened and it's real. This instantly gets every viewer that clicked on the video interested, because it's what they clicked on the video for. The only thing that I might nitpick and change if I was the editor, I might have had a really nice visual shot of all the money together so you can see how much of a huge amount of money it is. The number graphic on the screen is great, but it doesn't quite give how much money it is all in notes. There is so much competition on YouTube. There are literally thousands of videos that people could watch. If you get someone's click, you need to make sure you grab them and tell them, this is why you should watch my video. And that's exactly what MrBeast has done. But there is another reason why MrBeast can keep his intros so short. He uses this tactic of explaining the video as it goes.
The first game we're gonna play is red light, green light, and they have 30 minutes to cross the red line on the other side of the huge room.
So without further ado, green light.
Rather than just saying like,
this is Squid Game, our first game is going to be this, our second game is going to be that, and the third game is going to be this, and this is how you play them all.
that is boring, and people will click off because they already know what's happening. They already know what they're clicking on the video for. So by leaving these points and explaining them later when the games come along, he spreads them out and doesn't have this whole chunk of information at the start, which slows the video down. We have momentum straight away, and those little parts that are explained as it goes on slow the video down less because they're dispersed throughout of the video. It's a really clever tactic. A lot of the time these parts are added in with voiceover.
In Honeycomb, everyone gets a needle and a cookie with a different shape on it, and they have 10 minutes to remove the shape from the cookie. But if they break the shape, they're eliminated.
And as an editor, this is something that you can control. You can manipulate it however you want. You can just add in your own voice, and then later on, MrBeast or wherever you're editing them for, they can come and replace the voiceover. You're not asking for loads of shots to be filmed. It's so much quicker and easier for you as an editor. Voiceover also can slow the pacing down less. It means that the video continues going rather than pausing to be told something and there be no action happening. The second editing technique, which is talked about less, is still really simple and easy to put in and used in a lot of TV shows, is multiple storylines. But before that, make sure you subscribe to the channel because I've got loads more videos coming telling you about how to edit like the best YouTubers on the platform. They're gonna be coming out soon, so subscribe so you don't miss them. And also remember to leave the video a cheeky like if you wanna. It's used in this video to develop characters so that the viewer doesn't get bored just watching one person's path throughout the game.
You're the main character, so you have plot armor, you're fine. Yeah.
There's multiple different people and we check in with them at multiple different times, even referencing to people that were in Squid Game. Or the more obvious way of using multiple storylines where you park one story and then you move to the other and you pick it up later, as MrBeast has done in lots and lots of past videos.
What 10 grand looks like, by the way. Hey, it hasn't been an hour, get out of here. We'll see you guys in a little bit. For this next challenge.
Using multiple storylines this way on YouTube is definitely underused. It's used in every single TV show that you can think of, but it's not used on YouTube very often. Maybe this is because it takes more planning, but if you plan it right and execute it right, it's going to keep viewers watching a lot longer and be engaged. Once they become bored of one storyline or it starts to peter out, you can switch to another one and it becomes more interesting, and then when the same happens to that one, you switch to the next one. That's the basics of multiple storylines in a video, but let's dive in a little deeper. Most of these scenes in MrBeast's videos are 1 to 3 minutes. It's very quick. We always end on a high point, so don't wait for everything to be concluded. When the energy is high, move on, move out on the high point, carry that high energy and that momentum onto the next storyline. That way we have no lull between scenes of like introducing everything or finishing things up. It's all like energy, 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 and we just keep it going throughout the video. That's part of the reason why MrBeast's videos feel like they have so much energy, because there's so many storylines, so much going on, and we're always ending on these high points. And because there are so many different storylines, we get more high points throughout the video than you would just following one storyline all the way through. Another classic of how multiple storylines are used, and they're used a bit more on YouTube, is like the classic Top Gear or Grand Tour race.
How do we say, stop being such a trade unionist and get on with it?
One day those guys are going to find a means of transport that's better than a car, but I don't think today is that day.
Hammond.
We have two different teams and they go against each other, and you follow each character. Will and E, again, chatted about in the last video, but he also did a video like this where they raced across Hawaii, and that was done in a similar style with multiple storylines, so it can be done on YouTube.
We headed out of the good faithful town of Wailuku and quickly got back on with our journey. Back with the red team though, things weren't going quite so swimmingly.
Look, all right, you have a brain. Use it.
But now let's talk about how MrBeast's huge ideas help out his editing. His videos are often about massive things that appeal to a mass audience, like Squid Game. When it was released, it was literally the most popular show. Everyone was asking, have you watched Squid Game? Have you seen Squid Game? What do you think of Squid Game? And because his ideas appeal to a mass audience, more people know about it. As an editor, this makes your job a lot easier because you don't have to explain as much, because your target audience already knows all the information about Squid Game that does not need to be explained because they know it. Whereas if you've got a video about, I don't know, rockets or something like that, you're probably going to have to explain a little bit there so that the audience knows what's going on in the video, else they're going to be confused and click off. So those big ideas can really help you out, and from an editor's point of view, it's really important to think about what does a viewer know before they come into a video, and what do I need to tell them in order for them to understand the story going on, but not too much so that they get bored and they feel like they know everything and there's nothing else for them to find out from watching the rest of the video. So getting that balance of knowing what your target audience knows, what they don't know, is tricky, but if you can nail that, you'll keep viewers watching a lot longer. And if you're enjoying the video, why not subscribe? And go and follow me on Twitter, because I'm retweeting editing jobs. So if you're on the lookout for more editing work or anything like that, you can get those great editing jobs, get your foot in the door, get started as a freelance editor. And if you are interested in what I use to edit, in the description, I've got links for everything I use in my setup. So go have a look if you're interested, and I will see you next week for another video.